Hi, it's Josh MacEwen here with episode 24 of Dufferin Spotlight on Business, where we bring your community to you by letting you know what's available in the area while highlighting the advantages of shopping local. And this week we are joined by Victoria Johansen of Dufferin and Caledon, also known as the Happy Paper, which is distributed monthly around the county to various locations. Through Snapped, Victoria and her team cover the good news and community events that happen in Dufferin and Caledon, something I know we can all appreciate right now, given how hard it is to not get overwhelmed with all the bad news that we have to listen to. Throughout the pandemic, Victoria has gone out of her way to make sure the community stays informed and connected, taking on new methods of distribution for her publication, and providing effective ways for our local businesses to keep in touch with us. We are fortunate to have Dufferin and Caledon in our community, and even more lucky that Victoria is the person running the show. Her passion for the community is evident to all those who meet her, and for those of you who haven't had a chance to yet, just stay tuned. Before we get started though, big thanks to Victoria for her time, and if you want to learn more about Dufferin, including where you can pick up the most recent edition, check out dufferin.snapped.com. Similarly, for Snap Caledon, it is caledon.snapped.com. Anyways, thank you to the audience for listening. I'm Josh MacEwen, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. Thanks. Hi, it's Josh MacEwen here with Dufferin Spotlight on Business, and today I'm joined by Victoria Johansen of Dufferin and Caledon. Hi, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining me. And can we just start off with you just giving us a brief background on yourself and your business for those who might not already know?
Well, hi, Josh. Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here and to share the story about Dufferin and Caledon. As you mentioned, my name is Victoria, and I have been the owner of Dufferin and Caledon since November of 2017. I took it over from Tammy Schneider, who successfully launched and managed the business for 10 years. The license was up for renewal and she was ready for a new pathway. So it was actually brought to my attention to potentially be something I would consider. I thought I was crazy, and after meeting with Tammy and just sort of all the pieces fell into place, and here I am now, an editor publisher of our community connecting publication, the Happy Paper.
That's awesome. Because I mean, you guys promote so many great things in the community that get missed by other publications, including Dufferin News. I mean, like there's a ton of stuff, and I mean, we are very lucky to have like a Dufferin Dufferin Caledon in our community, because again, it is good to have positive media. We need it, especially these days.
Right. Well, absolutely. These days are the quintessential answer. Yeah, well, one of the things is because it's been so well established. I mean, we really are known as the event publication. We also have an ability to reach a lot of people because of the spread. But we in our geographical, like Dufferin Caledon is one of the largest geographical publication areas, and pat myself on the back, run by a single person, where many are run by teams or husband and wife teams or partners of 2 or 3 or 4 people. So it's amazing, and we've really established a great reputation of being able to do that, is to share the information and get the information out. And we aren't just sort of limited to paper and print. We also have, and thanks to my partners at Dufferin Media, an incredible social media contingent that, to be honest with you, was completely new to me, and opened up, and now we're like officially a community influencer based on our numbers. So yeah, so I thank you for that. Thank you for the acknowledging that, we really do. We do cover and we do try, but it's also being known as doing that, so everybody comes to us. It's not like we go and search it out. A lot of people now know, this is a great idea, and we can create success for events like Sweet Peas Pumpkin Patch sold something like 6,000 tickets or something to their event this fall, and cost them nothing.
And that's awesome, because I mean, like, you guys do have the hyper local coverage, but again, it's a wide enough coverage where, again, it is Dufferin and Caledon, and it is people that are within driving distance, like very easy driving distance, because we are a
Absolutely.
relatively condensed area. So I mean,
We
you guys
are.
can do a lot.
And Caledon was just something we took on last March of 2019. So it was kind of left abandoned by a previous franchise, and there was so much coming from that area that I went to my franchise head and the Snapped head office and said, can I at least reach out and try and help? And so that's how it happened, because I was getting more sometimes information and requests for event coverage in Caledon than I was from Grand Valley or Shelburne. So it's sort of been an evolvement, and there's an announcement coming in 2021. I won't share, but there is rumor that we're going to grow and expand and encapsulate another region. But I'm in the process of getting help, because I can't manage it entirely anymore. Just me.
Well, like you mentioned, like there's usually like a team of people from the sounds of it that manage a territory this big. I mean, you do even bigger. Wow.
Well, I do have some people that I can rely on. I mean, I've got Shelley Bergeant, who's an incredible community manager for me. She came on and was going to do some sales and management for me, and then she's found out how much she loves taking photographs. So she ends up being an event photographer as well, and she's really great, and she's been very useful, and I rely on her a lot, because, like I said, I can't be everywhere, and sometimes there's not enough of me. I can't split myself in two. I tried.
No, I've spoken with Shelly before. She's great. So I mean, I can only imagine the kind of help she is, because I mean, she is. It seems like she's a very active member of the community. So I mean, very,
She's
very.
everywhere. And her heart's in such the right place, and she's just been a great addition. And she works in unison with Dufferin Media and myself. And Dufferin Media helped me an immense amount too. And then I do have other people on sort of on sidelines. Like I've got a couple other contract or intern photographers, and sometimes my daughter even goes to an event and helps me out and takes some photos. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to. I don't want it to look like I'm just like Superwoman, even though some days I feel like less than that by far. But I do have help when I need it, and my franchise, my head office, has just been 1,000% behind me. I mean, I couldn't have gotten through the shutdown, lockdown, and complete you know craziness of this year had I not had that support.
Well, I mean, honestly, like whenever I hear about an event or go to an event, there's always a Snap presence. Like I always see getting documented by Snapped. And I mean, you guys, because I mean, I'm paying attention to these things. You guys are by far the most active out there, like as far as that I can see.
But we try. We do try.
It shows.
I mean, I got to tell you, we live in one of the most amazing communities ever. And there is always so much great news to share. And those good news stories is what keeps me sane. But me sharing them has also helped a lot of people in the community have something good to think about and something good to focus on and hear about. And that's a privilege. I take that as a complete honor and privilege to be able to be the person that has that front row seat at all the great things that happen in our community.
Well, in addition to the paper, I mean, your guys acted like your guys' social media channels. I mean, social media gets a bad rap for being a negative place. You guys definitely do help brighten it up. Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing we do is, because I mean, one of the things that sets us apart from an advertising standpoint is we're not just stagnant print. We go out. We also have an ability to augment our print with a video. So, and we can change that video up through the month. So, if there's something going on and you need to get a message out to your community or your market, we can change that video up. So you can actually, you know, film yourself talking about this new menu item you've got, and if it switches up through the month, we can replace that video, and that paper is still out in the public, and it can change up. We can make a fridge magnet for you that people can take their phone, and you could change that up 12 times a year if you wanted to, just on your one printed fridge magnet, because we embed the technology, and we can change up the message as often as you need it. So we're multifaceted when it comes to our reach and our ability.
100%. I mean, I've learned a little bit about Snap. I mean, the one thing I am certain of is that you guys really are thinking about technology, like versus a lot of other
Yeah.
publications out there and media organizations, particularly in our community. Like you guys really are forward thinking, from what I can see.
Yeah, and I'm proud, and I mean that's the brains of this organization behind, because they've come up with things to keep us relevant and to keep us being able to do what we do to the level that we want to do it. And that to me is, I mean, that's one of the reasons. I mean, when I was hesitant about should I take this on and am I able to do this, I went to head office, and an hour meeting turned into about a 6-hour meeting. And I just, their vision and their ability to think outside the box and create new opportunities in order for us to be that communicator and connector of our community. It was exciting and fascinating. And like, I'm an old dog. This is new tricks for me, big time. There are things like, as much trouble as I have to get into a Zoom meeting. I've got great people behind me, helping me get there, and shocking myself at how I learn things as I go along. But it's fun, and I love it, and I love the feedback. I love when people say, "Oh, well, ask Victoria, she'll know." And I do. I get people will say, "Well, who does this in the community?" And often, especially a new business in town, will say, "I'm having a problem and I need help with this," and I'll say, "This is the person you need to talk to. This is," and I make that connection. And then they write me back and say, "You're right, that person was amazing. Thank you so much." And then that person writes me and says, "Thank you so much for referring us. It means so much."
That's
So it's,
awesome.
it's a labor of love. Like it's hard work, and I've never worked so hard in my life, as especially trying to be an event paper, and through, where there's no events, and be as, social connector and communicator when there was not a lot of, there was a lot of isolation. But just one day at a time, and we got through. And I mean, last year I did a pet photo contest and I got 45 entries, and this year, and in the pandemic of 2020, we had 214. So that just goes to show you my readership has, exploded. Yes, it's been hard, and it's been a tough row of things, but the Snap brand in Dufferin Caledon has exploded,
Well,
and it's great. I'll take it.
100%. 100%. And it shows how well you guys are needed in the community, especially during these times. I mean, like you mentioned here, like the explosion during during the pandemic with just the pet photo contest. Like, people needed that this year. They really
They
did.
did.
And
And the stories, I mean, it got to that I looked at it so many times too that I could probably see somebody walking down the street and I'm going to recognize their pet if they sent it, because I went through it so many times. It was like, "Oh, what have I done?" And if you build it, they will come. Well, they came. And I couldn't do 14 pages of pets, but I had to, thank goodness, got arranged some very good people to do the contest judging for me, because I fell in love with every one of them. I'm a dog freak now.
you guys also did some virtual fireworks. You guys did at least two events that I know about.
Yeah, we did. We did one for May, for the May 2 for Victoria, not named after me, but Victoria Day long weekend, and then and then for Canada Day, and we enlisted the help of Colonel. Oh my gosh, and his name's not, no, his name's not going to be in
Chris
my
Hatfield,
top.
I think.
Chris Hadfield, yes, Colonel Chris Hadfield. Thank you. I just read something about him yesterday too. Um, but and he did the countdown. And we increased our SnapTub registration. We had 80,000 people throughout Ontario watch that virtual fireworks, because you couldn't really go to fireworks elsewhere. So it united people together, and it was really fun. And you could be at your cottage, you could be at your backyard, you could be at out, just driving and stop and pull over to the side of the road and see fireworks above and hear great music, and it was really neat. It was really neat, and it totally, again, exploded our downloads of the SnapTub, which has gone through so many versions for this augmented reality. Just wait and see what 2021 brings. I can't spill it because I don't even know all of it. I just get the snippets.
Well, it was awesome to see, because I mean, like, you guys made it very accessible to people too. Because I mean, Canada was done. Canada Day was like in the middle of the week this year, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
and a
the
lot of people had to
Wednesday, I
work the
think.
next day. Um,
Yeah.
and you guys made your fireworks show open for a few days versus others that I know about was only open for a few minutes. You guys made yours
Yeah,
accessible for everybody. So
yeah,
that was
yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah, we like I said, we try to think outside the box, and we try to be inclusive, and yeah, it was a very successful thing, and I think we plan to do more of those kinds of things in the future, and maybe even link up with radio and have simulcast. And I mean, I don't know if you've ever done that down by the Ontario place when they used to do the fireworks, and they would have a huge symphony simulcast, and it was really cool. And those were real fireworks. Ours are simulated fireworks, but it's still kind of a neat thing.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's great that there is like an advertising. I know you guys do a lot, but I mean, like there's an advertising agency out there, like not an agency, but an advertising provider, like for advertising space that does that is thinking forward with these technologies, especially when you are targeting small businesses. Because a lot of these guys kind of get left in the dust. Like no one's really fighting for them, and it seems like Snap is really providing a platform to help them get into the future. Like,
Right. Well, we also took out on at the beginning of this pandemic. Um, I mean, the business world, locally, small business was just hammered. The casualty effect was just heartbreaking. And I'm a strong marketing promoter of so many businesses that I became kind of a little bit of a mini therapist, and hearing people's stories, and then doing whatever we could to help. Like, we did a campaign. It said, pay what you can and pay when you can. And I don't know anybody in the universe of marketing and advertising who's offering that.
oh,
And I mean, yeah, we just did what we could to help everybody get through to the other side. And with the grace of support from our MPP Sylvia Jones, Dufferin Caledon MPP Sylvia Jones, who jumped on board and helped us, as well as the County of Dufferin, we were able to then you know mail our publication out through those 3 months of difficulty when everything was shut down. We had to be a lead by example, and have people not encourage them to go out and go to locations that would be, um, you know, not the safest thing to do. So yeah, we mailed by Canada Post, which is something we've never done. I wish I could maintain that as a regular model, but it's just far too cost ineffective. But we did it. Yeah, and we just did what we had to do in order for us to reach people. And because of that, I mean, the the Prime Minister of Canada jumped on our publication. Premier of Ontario, Solicitor General, who also happens to be our MPP, Sylvia Jones, utilized that format and that model to be able to give up-to-date information, as well as the County of Dufferin. So we became, more than just fun and neighbor pictures. We became a very important lifeline for a lot of information to be able to get out to our community. And I'm really, really proud of that.
100%, especially, yeah, like 100%. Like, especially when you were getting the papers out to people, because I mean, not everyone has access to online. We've heard that mantra.
We don't really do that much of an online factor of the actual publication. Yeah, you can go and see all the events, but advertising, we don't have an online advertiser.
Yeah,
We don't find that that's a successful way of communicating. So we do. You can always see an event, and the publication is always accessible to see the event photos. And then we do use our social media for marketing and advertising.
yeah,
So, but yeah, it was really, really an important thing. And I mean, I got emails and messages. Facebook Messenger was just crazy through the summer of people saying, I just got my Snapped in the mail, and I went for a walk and I was feeling down, and I was afraid to go to the mailbox because I thought it would be bills. And when I saw my Snapped, I sat beside the mailbox and I read it, and it made me smile, and it made me happy to know what was going on in the community. And thank you.
yeah,
Uh, that made my day.
yeah. 100%. I mean, and like you said, like I mean, during those months, it was difficult time for everybody. Not a lot of people were looking forward going to the mailbox. Um, but you did give them something there for them to be happy about, which is big. Because I mean, again, there's not a lot of media trafficking in good stories. Like you guys really do, and you guys are doing a service to the community with it. Because again, you guys aren't being driven by clicks and enragement. You guys are being driven by good stories and positive feelings. So it's great to
Yeah,
see media built on that.
yeah, and for my personality, it works because the politics or the negative or the other stuff or death counts and I'm not built for that kind of stuff. I'm not. I'm far too soft, and realize that as going through a lot of this. And the empath in me just could not focus. I would have a really hard time if I had to cover the hard stuff, and it made me feel so much better to show the good stuff that was happening in our community, because there was so much negativity in some of the communications of what was happening out there, and fear, and we got to show deja vu, selling toilet paper because there was a need, or Curry Mantra stepping up to offer meals, or there were young children that were raising money to support our hospital. I mean, we did a call out. We did a call out once just to help the frontline workers, and they finally went to us and said, "Okay, you're gonna have to tell people to slow down because all the frontline workers were gaining weight with all the coffee, donuts, and meals that were being sent, and they appreciated it so much." But there was like one time I went and I dropped off personally, and they're like, "Okay, like this is like the third box of hot chocolate and coffee we've had. Um, we're floating." Like, okay, we'll slow down. We'll stop the love a little bit. We'll turn it down. What a great problem to have in an amazing community, right? There's
Yeah,
too much.
that, that's awesome. Because I mean, it's been a tough year, and I mean,
It has.
it,
It has. It really, there's no sugarcoating it. But you know what? If we can make the medicine go down a little better with a little teaspoon of honey or whatever we need, and if we buy that honey locally, then I'm a happy girl.
that's awesome. Well, we've had a good time. I want to make sure we get through some questions because we've had a
Yeah,
good time
sorry.
talking. No, thank you. I appreciate this. I think we've encompassed some of this already, but I want to make sure. So, what are your most popular products or services?
Well, just you know what? I mean, one of the things is, I mean, I do a dining guide for the restaurant industry, and that an eighth of a page is usually about $225 to $260. And I did it, and I'm maintaining it for $99 to help restaurants get to the other side and support, because there's so much changing. Like, are they takeout? How many people can sit inside? What are the hours? There's so much information changing, and the restaurants they've really really appreciated that. And even restaurants that didn't, I'm sharing some of their stories on my social media, because we have such a rich mosaic of amazing places to dine out and
That's awesome.
entertain, and I want to see them all survive. I'm a foodie, and I want to see them all survive. I want to see them. I mean, I even tried to go to every one of them that was still open doing takeout and share it. And I'm like, okay, kids, we need to go for a walk because I just ate way too many fish and chips. But it was, I tried to support local. I tried to be out there and show, what every one of them was doing. So I think that those kind of products and services that we provide really, really help, really do help. And because like I said, a lot of people will contact me and say, well, where's the best place to get fish and chips? Or where's the best place, or who's open, on Sundays, or who's open on a Monday? Or I've got, whatever, or, and I don't know, there was even like, takeout Tuesdays, and there was all these different, things that were going on. And by sharing that information, I think was really valuable. And it isn't about, Snap succeeding and making a ton of money at the end of the day. It's about providing a service that was really needed. And if I can keep my head above water, then I'm a happy girl.
Well, it's been evident throughout the pandemic. I'd say, like, I mean, I keep a close eye on social media, and I mean, it is, and I know you guys aren't particularly online based, but I mean, just what I've seen you guys do on there, it is, you guys are really going out of your, like, you guys are really going out of your way to help small businesses. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah. I said, if I ever got a tattoo, and I'm 57 and I don't have one yet, almost 58. And I said, if I get a tattoo, it has to be probably shop local, because I say it, I'm mandated. It's like, that's what I do. It's like, help this community, help our business. One of my past jobs was a business marketing coach, helping businesses. And I feel like I've transferred that into this. And often I will, I won't name any names, but a lot of them I do manage their marketing. I come up with what they're going to say each month based on what I know about them. And then I submit it to them and they tweak it or they change it or they say, yes, we love it. But, just to help, I should probably announce that, but I do that for quite a few, to help them. And they'll say, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Or no, that's a great way of handling that. Or, when somebody says, Victoria, I just got 5 people that had never known about us until they saw it in Snap. So thank you. Like, that to me that's measurable success.
Well, in that just goes to show, like, this really does emphasize the importance of going with somebody local. Like, you're local, you understand the businesses here, you understand what Dufferin's looking for, and you understand the people of Dufferin, and that's why they consult with you to
Yeah.
get the questions answered. And there are so many organizations that are going the opposite way, that sell advertising. They're trying to centralize things at their head office and things like that. They're getting rid of those marketing people, like the suggestions that you make. Like, those people are getting shipped back to head office in Toronto
Hmm.
or other places, and they don't have the knowledge that you have. They don't have the passion that you have, obviously. But that knowledge is particularly key, and that's why I like it's awesome. We are really lucky to have you in the community, because that is not everywhere. That is definitely not everywhere.
Yeah,
And
I'm lucky to be in this community. So, and there's so many great people and so many great stories and so many great businesses and all I am is just I'm the B. There's an audience and then there's a consumer, and I sort of am that person that puts the A and C together, by just introducing and yeah, a thriving economy is like, there's nothing better. And those are the things that support our sports teams and our, and our community groups and things like that. Like, that's what the pulse of that's what keeps us, so that there are things to happen and events will resume because we've got a thriving economy to support those things.
100%, and keeping as much of that stuff local as possible is better for us in our community. So
It is, and with all due respect, and I know there's things that we can't, you can't avoid, but Amazon doesn't pay property tax or contribute to our community. They don't, sponsor the little Timbits hockey, or they don't, we don't, and we can't forget those things. And it would be really frustrating if, say you can't pop into a place like Pear Home and get, like, wonderful little things, for gifts. Like, I've just was there last week and got some beautiful gifts, for a friend's birthday. And, like, I don't want to buy online. I want to support the people that, live and work and play here. And it's really important. And I can't stress it enough, because, like, our downtown really needs us, and in all communities. Grand Valley and Shelburne and, Erin and Alton and Hillsburg. Like, we need to, the Alton Mill is just a fabulous place to go and poke around, and some like amazing creative, like, our artisans in this community are amazing, and we need to support it, but we need to know about it in order to support it.
100%. I'll be honest. Like, I never went to the Alton Mill before a few months ago. For the Artful Revival Gallery exhibition. I
Hmm.
think you were there as well, from what I remember
Yeah.
correctly. And it like I don't know how I know how I don't know about these things, but I should have known about these things, 'cause that's a great place. Like, you just go, like you said, go and poke around inside there. Like, the building itself is pretty impressive, and
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. And
It
again, you
really
have the art
is.
galleries in there too.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So if you don't mind me asking, how many people do you employ today?
How many people do I employ? Everybody's pretty much on a contract basis, so it's not full time. But anywhere between 4 and 6.
Wow,
Um,
nice.
and I try to keep people, with some income coming in, um, and but depending on the need. And like I said, I'm actually in the process. I won't announce it yet, but of growing and expanding. So I would bring on. I'm interviewing right now for a full-time person to handle another region for me.
That's awesome. That is
Hmm.
awesome. And again, like especially right now, like to see a growing business, that is awesome. Like I mean, especially in this industry too. So I mean, that is amazing. Um,
Yeah.
so where do you think most of your competition comes from? Local, the city, Facebook and Google, where?
Um, well, any media is sort of competition, but I pride myself on working, well with other media in this community. Um, and we all offer something different and unique. Um, but I think there's enough business in this community that can support all that are here. So I don't feel that there's any, real, um, you know, knuckle to knuckle competition. I mean, one of the things, like I said, that Snapped offers is we're not stagnant. We're not just audio. We're not just print. We're not just video. Like we're all of it,
Yeah.
and we can do all of it, and we can reach. And then also our investment costs. Like I don't have anything in my monthly paper that's over $1,000 really, and that's a full page ad. So, and I try to keep things. I understand. I mean, having been a small business for probably since I graduated university, I've always pretty much been a self-employed person. I understand the costs. And I understand when things get rough, what's the first thing that most people cut is their marketing budget. Well, I'm sorry, but if there's only this much out there, you kind of need to ramp up your marketing budget so that you can attract those to your business. If you cut it off and nobody knows you're around, then you don't turn the volume down. You got to turn the volume up when things are rough. And so, but I make that a plausible and feasible option by working with, like, I think in December, my December edition, I think I had 71 ads. Well, I work with every one of those. There's probably maybe 60 different owners, and I work with every one of them. I have a relationship with every one of them, and I copy content and I proof and I, write up their ad brief. It's a lot of work, but it's valuable. It's very valuable to those businesses to be able to, a 99. Like I can't really, I pay franchise fees to my head office on an ad. So if it's worth $200, I pay them on the value of $200. If I sell it for $99, I still have to pay the same amount, but I'm helping that person and I get a little bit covered towards, as long as I can print that paper and, keep myself in, a little bit of food and wine, I'm happy. Pay my mortgage.
Well, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, and I do have to say, like, like we've interacted with quite a few media, and I mean, you've by far been the friendliest, and I mean, you've been and the most helpful, like in the most, you've been willing to take time and speak with me, like when, like just whenever I've asked, like you're like honestly, like I'm lucky I consider myself lucky to have known you, like to know you,
Oh gosh,
like
Josh.
because I mean, not every,
Thank
I mean,
you.
it's easy to get caught up in the competition. I mean, I love getting caught up in the competition. I mean, I really do. But it is really nice to have someone in the industry that does take a look around and say like, hey, there is enough for everybody here, and we are our community.
Well, it's really interesting because there will be businesses that I know want to expand and I mean, I deal with in the hills and I send them ads. Roberta Fracassi is one of my great friends, and she's excellent at what she does. And Signe Ball has a wonderful publication, and we're very different. We're not the same thing, and people would think we'd be, fighting for the marketing dollars. But if it's going to help one of my clients to work with them, I'm 100% all in and think it's fabulous because you know what? they're understanding advertising, and they're investing in advertising, and that speaks to what I do. And there's another vehicle that can take you to a different market, to a different reach. And so I don't find that competition at all. I find that enhancing what I can do for my client, because I've got, their goal is to succeed and increase business and provide more. So why would I think I have to have all of their marbles in my basket? That's not serving them.
No, and you kind of mentioned it, like it really wouldn't be serving you either. Like if they grow and they can spend more, like even if they use another platform, they're growing their overall business. So
Exactly.
that benefits you. And like, and I'd also like just like to mention, like you mentioned earlier, like it's one of the first places people cut. Like, I mean, you also meant like you are a small business person. Like, like you mentioned, it's a lot for a lot of people to go out there and spend money on marketing, especially these small business people.
You've got
It
to
take
provide value. And you know
you
what?
have to provide
I
value.
won't take a dime from you if I can't help you. If there's a few businesses, like, people will say, oh, you should go and help this person. They're really in trouble. Well, they've done maybe some not great business practices. I also endorse anybody that's in my publication. And so I've actually turned, you know, some business away, which people would probably think that's crazy. But if I don't think that if you're going to try to mislead, or if there's, and doesn't happen very often, but there's sometimes some kind of business practices that I don't respect, I'm not going to cover you. You could pay me as much as you want.
Well, you have to have principles, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, I've run into similar circumstances as well. Um, like it's not the same, but I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is for you, because I mean, you have to have principles.
I mean, integrity isn't for sale. I
Exactly.
mean, I've been offered, and everybody gets really excited. Like when my front page comes out, like here's my December front page, and everybody's excited who's going to be on the front page. And I've been offered money to put somebody, business politically, on a front page, and no, it's not for sale. That's one of the best perks of my job, is coming up with my front cover every month. Like, I just get to go and research all my photos and select what I'm going to put on my front page, and try and make people happy. So that's not for sale. Never will be.
That's awesome, because you do need to have that sense of control, and people need to know that there's that authenticity out there. I mean, it's obviously working. I mean, that's in the front page is what grabs people.
You can't buy a reputation. You can't. There's
No.
no, you can try, but you can't buy a reputation. And I'm proud. I'm not perfect by far, but I'm proud that I've established a good reputation. I know a lot of people respect me, and I mean, even during the pandemic, when there was a bit of social media flack I was getting, it was interesting because I had so many people support me, and I had 5 people that had never worked with Snap that didn't believe that I was getting a bit of a rough ride, and want to advertise with us. Like, I was like, okay.
That's
You
awesome.
can't make everybody happy, and if you try, you'll go mad. But I did try. To make everybody happy during the really, really rough times, and I got a bit of flack for doing too much, and maybe not being safe. I don't know.
I think I'm familiar with the situation. I think you were fine. um, that's just everyone has a different opinion these days, although there are facts, and I think you
Yeah.
were safe. But anyways, we're coming close on time, but I just want to make sure, like, what do you think customers should look for when doing business with somebody in your profession?
Well, just look at your value. Look at what is your intention? What is it you want to do? And what is your need? And communicate to somebody like myself, or another publication, or another media. How are you going to reach that? How are you going to meet that need? But my philosophy is just, make sure, make sure that what it is you wanted is going to be achieved, what your goal is. And I mean, if somebody's a really, really small business and they want to do a one and done, I want them to have realistic expectations. Marketing isn't something that you just whisper and you just put something out there. You've got to have a campaign, you've got to have a plan. I mean, I do that for my clients. I come up and they say, okay, well, I know you don't have a huge marketing budget. Let's just establish what you have. Maybe we do something every other month. Maybe in your, and I put packages together that they pay the exact same amount every month, but they have a different size. So it's equal billing, there's no surprises, and some months they have smaller spots, and then other months they have bigger spots. And that's been incredibly successful for somebody like Orange Theory Fitness, where they rode through when they were even closed, but they didn't stop communicating, and they were doing online lessons or classes, and their budget never wavered, and they could pay when they could, but they absolutely maintained their communication and never wavered from it. And they take different sizes. He upgraded in his second year with me to almost all full and half pages.
Wow. Wow. Like we I just keep getting this feeling like we really are lucky to have you like in the community, because I mean, like, you really are going above and beyond for these small businesses. Like, you're coming up with new ways to make sure that they are getting their message out there, especially during times like these where it's easy to forget about businesses, or like you mentioned, you need to crank it up during times like this so people know that you're still around, because it's easy to
Right.
think that like that person isn't open right now, or that person might be gone. Um, and it's terrible.
Well,
Like it's so sad. It's so
I
sad.
saw a meme that said buy local, BYE, or BUY, buy local, or buy local, BYE. And that hit me. That hit me because that's so true. And we don't support. And I mean, I am a partner. This isn't just all about the production of a paper. I'm a partner in communicating with these businesses to get their message across so that people know. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times like people say, oh, I didn't know about that business. I'll be, well, there's no service. It's not helping you to be the best kept secret in town. We don't
Exactly.
want that. I want to expose all the best kept secrets. I want to show, what people can do. And maybe there's something like I find out things. I'm like, I ask questions and I'm like, I had no idea you did that, you know? And like, if I don't know, that's not good.
Exactly. Exactly. No, like we're lucky, because I mean, again, like there is somebody locally minded, and someone that, again, that looks to go above and beyond and looking to truly help these businesses, because there's not many
Yeah.
people in their corner. There really isn't. There's people that talk a good game, but there's people that actually go out and above, like they actually go out and do things. And I mean, I know you guys, again, like, all you have to do is look at the social media channel for Snap Dufferin. Like,
Yeah.
you'll see how active you guys are in the community, how you're out there promoting all this good stuff that's going
Well,
on.
it's my whole team. My whole team, it helps me with that. And my team runs Instagram and they run my Twitter. And they, that's my Dufferin media team. And they make me look like I'm even better than I am.
Well, it's truly impressive stuff, because I mean, like, it is something good to see on social media during these times. I mean, even if you keep up with just local stuff, what you see is a lot of Q&A stuff. It's not always positive, but your stuff is always positive, and it's great to see. So I mean, no, thank you so much. Like, I mean, you really guys are, like, you guys are doing a service in the community. You really are.
Well, thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've earned the happy paper and we stick to it. We're the happy paper. And they say I'm the Pollyanna queen, but I'm okay with that.
That's awesome. So before we wrap it up, is there anything you'd like to say to the people of Dufferin?
No, Dufferin Caledon people are just the best. Keep going. I don't know when this is going to air, but I hope everybody has a super healthy and happy holiday season and Merry Christmas. And I hope we have some really good positivity and intention going into 2021. I know this isn't going to go away, but let's hope that we can get through. We know we're in this together. Let's stay positive. Let's do all the things we need to do, like wash our hands and wear our masks, and let's try to keep this year. I mean, my dad's not coming for Christmas. I'm going to have just me and my two children that I live with, and I mean, this is a way we can communicate. Like, let's stay connected and communicate, but let's just keep everybody safe. I don't want to lose anybody. I don't want to lose more. And sadly, we've lost too many. And let's just let's say cheers to 2021 with open arms and open eyes.
Awesome. 100%. 100%. And what's the best way to get in touch?
Well, the best way is to reach me by email, which is vjohansen, Johansen @snapped.com. Or you can always reach me if you shoot me a message through Facebook. I do monitor it. It may not be the quickest way, and then you can always call. And in the publication, always in the publication, there is that's my office number and my cell number are in there, and you can call me or email me. I'm pretty accessible. I get back to people pretty quickly. I can't let things stand because otherwise they build up and then I don't sleep at night.
Well, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much for your time, Victoria. I like a huge ton, and I was so glad I got to learn more. I think other people will too. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's it for this episode of Dufferin Spotlight on Business. I hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to Victoria for helping make this possible, and thanks to you, the audience, for listening. To keep up with everything that Snap Dufferin Caledon's up to, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, or check out their website, dufferin.snap.com and caledon.snap.com. If you would like to learn more about the people and businesses that make Dufferin what it is, make sure to check back every Tuesday for new episodes. The easiest way to stay up to date is to follow us on social media, subscribe to the Dufferin Spotlight YouTube channel, or wherever else you prefer to listen. We're available on pretty much every podcast platform, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. If there is somewhere else you prefer to listen, and we're not on it, please let us know through our website, and we'll do our best to make it happen. If you haven't checked out our last episode, it was with Megan Wellsbury of Healing Moon, a metaphysical supply store for pagans, witches, and everybody else, and it is located at 23 Mill Street in Orangeville. Healing Moon has a wide selection of items such as crystals, tarot cards, herbs, and even salt lamps. Furthermore, Megan, an aromatherapist, and her sister, Alyssa, an herbalist, provide knowledgeable customer service to their customers in addition to supplying a space for them to access the services of mediums, tarot readers, and Reiki masters. I'm definitely not capturing it all, and there are many options within these categories, so be sure to check out the store when conditions permit it, or their website, healingmoon.ca, because they do go out of their way to make sure that their selections are open to their customers, whether it's through a digital format or curbside pickup, no matter what the conditions are. Anyways, follow them on social media too, because again, that's a good way to stay up to date, especially with what's going on with all the news lately. If there is a local business that you would like to see on Dufferin Spotlight on Business, be sure to reach out and let us know. Also, be sure to check out Dufferin News. Anyways, I'm Josh MacEwen. Thank you for listening, and until next time, get to know your community and shop local. Thanks.